Hi everyone, we're back in chapter 10, Facial Devices and Technology. And in this section 10-6, we're going to demonstrate how to safely and effectively use the rotary brush. Now the main purpose of your rotary brush, also known as a facial brush, is to lightly exfoliate the skin. And here I have a photo of the rotary brush being used in a facial. You notice they have steam going with it. So your brush can be rotated at different speeds and directions. And some brushes are simple rotary. Some come with additional options, such as the ultrasonic technology that provides additional deep cleaning results. So here's the brush head of my Clarisonic. Brushes come in smaller sizes for the face and larger sizes for other areas of the body, such as the back, and they have 2 to 3 small brushes with different textures ranging from soft to firm. So here you can see the different sizes of brush heads and different types. Personally, I like to use the firmer. There is a firmer, larger one that's great for back treatments, which I really like to use. And then the large soft one is for large areas of the face. And then the small one, the little small one here, you can kind of see the small little one right there on the end here. That one you can use for like the upper lip, around the nose, between the eyebrows, and areas like maybe here. So I really like that small size for that. But in recent years, more advanced technology like the ultrasonic spatula here, that has been used for deep cleansing, and it has replaced the rotary brush. But I'm going to tell you, I love the rotary brush. I think it does a really good job of deep cleansing and exfoliation. So when to use the rotary brush, integrating the rotary brush into your service, it can help you achieve various goals. For one, again, the use of the brush when you want to use it when your goal is to lightly exfoliate the skin without the use of chemicals such as enzymes or peels. And then also use the brush during your second cleansing step in your facial to save time. So in a facial, we'll do the first cleanse to remove makeup, and then we analyze. And then on the second cleanse, you'll put the cleanser on and turn on the steam, have the steam going, and then use your brush with the cleanser. So the cleanser's on, and then you use the brush. And so I really like to use it at that step. Now the effects of the rotary brush, of using it, it again lightly cleanses the skin, and then cleansing brushes can stimulate the skin, and they can help soften excess oil, dirt, and cell buildup. Okay, so contraindications and best practices for the rotary brush. So to prevent harm to your client, it's really important that you be aware of those contraindications and best practices when you're using the rotary brush. So to avoid damaging or further irritating the skin, don't use brushes on acne skin, cuperose, fragile, or inflamed skin. You want to moisten the brushes before each use to soften those bristles. And the more sensitive skins, use a slow, steady rotation and soft bristles with fewer passes. Now, if their skin is thicker, oily, it can tolerate a faster speed and firmer brushes with more passes. So remember, fewer passes produce less exfoliation. Now your brushes, they should not be overused, and it could cause irritation and sensitivity. And you want to apply gentle pressure. Okay, so safety and maintenance of your rotary brush. It's really important to note that only brush heads that can be fully immersed in your disinfectant of approved strength should be used. Some brushes do come with natural bristles and they may deteriorate, and they are prohibited from use due to their inability to clean and disinfect them. Okay, so rotary brush machines, they come with detachable brushes for cleansing. And here's some guidelines for maintaining your brushes. You want to remove your brushes after each use and then wash them with soap and water first. So take your brush head and use some dish soap, and then go ahead and put the soap on there. And then once you get the soap on there, really work it through those bristles with your fingers and run it under tap water and get all the soap out of there. And then thoroughly clean the handpiece. So take like some barbicide or marvicide or leucocide, whatever you have. Mine is that I have here at home is barbicide, and I just mixed it in a little bottle for home. And then I just take it, spray it on a towel, really saturate a spot, and then use the towel to wipe down the handpiece. Okay, and then the cords, what you want to do is pretend this is the cord to one of my brushes. So I have that wet spot. I take the cord and I wrap it like this, and I just pull the cord through to clean the whole cord. And then again, saturate the towel again, and then just wipe down the machine. Okay, and really clean that and disinfect it. After manually cleansing, then you want to take, after we've cleansed the brush heads, take them and fully immerse them into your disinfectant for the appropriate amount of time. Normally it's usually 10 minutes on most things that you use. So you want a full immersion. That means this thing has got to be covered with water, with the disinfectant, not water, disinfectant. So it's really important to cleanse, rinse, and dry and store your brushes so they don't lose their shape when drying. So like mine, I have my brush head and then I just put the cap on and then I store it. Now these ones here, these type, what I do is I put them back on the machine. There's some little holes in the machine where they, you can rest them. And then again, take a cap and put it right over the top of the bristles, so it's covered and protected from airborne pathogens. And then if you want, you can store them in a container, and a closed covered container if you want to do that. But you want to make sure that you dry them that way so those bristles don't become bent or lose their shape. Otherwise, they're not going to rotate properly. They're going to kind of almost be like a flat tire on a car when they rotate. So make sure that you do dry them in the appropriate way. And then although they can be stored temporarily in a dry ultraviolet sanitizer, that's like in a lot of towel cabbies, they'll have an ultraviolet light in there and you can turn on the light. But they will break down if you leave them in that ultraviolet sanitizer too long. I do know that personally, have left them into there too long and literally destroyed the brush heads. I would not recommend using the ultraviolet sanitizer personally. I would just, just do the barbicide or whatever and then allow them to dry. When they are completely dry, that's when you can transfer them to a closed container if you want. And then we're going to talk about the little mini procedure of using a rotary brush. So you take whichever size is appropriate, whatever size you're going to use, probably this medium-sized one here. Let me show you. So this one, okay, and you're going to use that for large areas of the face. And then you're going to insert that into the handheld device. Now, on these types, there is a little and I don't think you can really see it very well in this picture, but there's a little flange right around here, and that inserts in one way, and you'll kind of push it in and turn, and you'll hear a little click. So you put the brush into the handheld tool, and then you apply cleanser to the client's face or water. And now you don't want to let the water or the cleanser drip down their face and into their eyes and stuff. And then use a piece of cotton 4x4 gauze to catch any excess water. Now you want to use the brush up to 3 passes in each area, or for appropriately 3 to 5 seconds in this area. So say I'm doing the forehead, okay? You want to limit the number of passes according to the sensitivity of the client's skin or the area that you're working on. Now keep this brush moving at all times. So you want to keep it moving at all times on their face, on whatever area you're working. And with light pressure in a circular motion, ensuring that the bristles stay straight. You want your bristles straight. You do not want them flaring out like this. If they're flaring, then that's too much pressure. Okay, so don't apply too much pressure with that. And then apply water to the bristles as necessary. So, and adjust the speed and begin a horizontal pattern like across the forehead. Again, if you're using the brush, say I'm in this area, and I feel that the bristles are dragging on the skin because it's drying out, then go ahead, take the machine off the skin, turn it off, turn the machine off, and then dip the bristles into water and then dab them on a 4x4 or a towel. I personally don't use a towel just because this is knocking off dead skin cells, and for sanitation purposes, I like to use a 4x4, which I can toss in the garbage later. So the brush should be damp, but you don't want it to the point where it's dripping on the client. So after I dab here, I turn on the machine, and then what I do is I'll turn it on, and then if I have too much excess water in there, it's going to go splashing all over. So I keep it away from the client's face, turn it on, and then this is what I do. I start like at an area here, and the reason I do that, if water's going to drip, it's just going to drip here. I don't start here, it could drip in their eyes. I make sure I don't start where it could go in their nose or their mouth or their ears. So I start here, and say I want to work on the forehead, I'll just bring it up to the forehead once I see no water's going to drip. Now when you're dabbing, be sure that you don't dab all the excess water out, or it's going to be dry and dragging again on the skin. So you kind of have to, the more you use it, the more you'll know exactly how much water and stuff to have on there. But then again, continue the sequence, across the forehead, down their cheeks, on their nose, their upper lip, the chin, the jaw, and then the neck area. And I like to do the décolleté. Okay, then you want to, once you're all finished, lift the brush from the skin and then turn off your machine and then disengage the attachment from the machine. Okay, and that is it for this section on the rotary brush machine. There is a check-in question that you need to complete, and send that to me at krista@oliverfinley.com. And your check-in question is, name one of the effects of the rotary brush. Okay, so once you get that done and you send that to me, go ahead and click on the read section of demonstrate how to safely and effectively use the rotary brush. And then after you reread it, then there's a little watch section, and it's called rotary brush, and it'll be a little video. And then there's a do section, and the do is the rotary brush fill in the blank. And then that completes this section. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.